Thank you, Travis. Good evening, viewers, and welcome to tonight's regional news. We begin with news from the Pan American Health Organization. Dr. Carissa F. Etienne, director of the Pan American Health Organization, recently launched a high-level commission on mental health and COVID-19. The commission will prepare guidelines and recommendations to reduce the impact on mental health caused by the pandemic and the related suffering in the population of the region. The commission's work will focus on 5 key areas: recovering from the pandemic and promoting mental health as a priority, the mental health needs of vulnerable populations, integrating mental health into universal health coverage, financing, and promoting the prevention of mental health conditions. We must seize the opportunity afforded by the pandemic to address long-standing weaknesses in mental health services and strengthen them for the future, said Dr. Etienne, thanking commissioners for their work and commitment. Now is the time to build better mental health in the Americas, she emphasized. The High-Level Commission on Mental Health and COVID-19 is chaired by Epsi Campbell-Barr, Vice President of Costa Rica, and co-chaired by Nestor Mendez, Assistant Director General of the Organization of American States, OAS. It is also made up of leaders of health organizations, civil society, academics, and people with a direct experience in the subject. The Commission chair said that mental health and well-being of millions, especially women, have been severely affected by the pandemic, confinement, school closures, telecommuting, and care for family members. Campbell-Barr called for urgently addressing mental health and taking steps to prevent and respond to domestic violence, including mental health services for survivors. The COVID-19 pandemic has had devastating effects, and many are expected to be long-term. A scientific report published by the World Health Organization reported that the global prevalence of anxiety and depression increased by 25% in the first year of the pandemic. We turn our attention to Trinidad and Tobago. Some assault victims are choosing to profit from their situations by making deals with criminals, inhibiting the ability of the law to act, National Security Minister Fitzgerald Hines has said. Hines also offered statistics on sexual crimes and their solved rates in recent years, saying solved rates have been very high with respect to some such crimes. The minister was speaking in the Parliament on Friday during the second reading of the Sexual Offences Amendment No. 2 Bill 2021. However, Hines said there were people who chose to profit off of their victimhood, not only women, but male victims as well. He was several times called on by House Speaker Bridget Annaseth George to return to the issue of the laws at hand. The minister had noted that in 2020 there were 95 reported rapes, of which 40 were solved. He said where these crimes were solved, it was because the victims went to the police and pointed out the perpetrator, as it is a contact crime. Unfortunately, he continued, some victims were choosing to profit from their victimhood, accepting blandishments such as houses. He said this was like two criminals making a deal over cocaine. You won't leave it alone, and it has implications for the rest of us. When this happens, Hines said, where does that leave the state? He noted other statistics regarding sexual assault, with 56 cases reported in 2017 and 22 solved, 36 cases reported in 2020 and 21 solved, and 69 cases in 2021 and 46 solved. And now for a final story coming out of Cuba. At least 30 people are dead and at least 24 remain hospitalized Sunday after Friday's explosion at Hotel Zaragoza in Havana, the Cuban Health Ministry said. On Saturday, Cuban state media reported 32 dead, and Cuba's presidency said 26 were killed. It's not clear what led to the discrepancy. Rescue workers continued searching the hotel's ruins Sunday, and officials said they believe more bodies remain inside the structure. The state-run company Gaviota, which manages the hotel, said 11 workers died in the blast and 13 remain missing. A Cuban-American woman is among the injured, according to Delilah Alba Gonzalez, a Ministry of Tourism spokesperson. person. A gas leak is thought to be the cause of the explosion, according to the Cuban presidential office, which said more details would follow. Everything indicates that the explosion was caused by an accident, the Cuban presidential office tweeted. According to preliminary data, a child and a pregnant woman were among those who died, the presidential office said. The presidency also said 64 people have been hospitalized for injuries, including 14 minors. Cuban state TV said there are potential survivors trapped in the basement of the destroyed hotel. That has brought us to the end of tonight's regional news. Thank you for watching. Back to you, Travis.